A young Russian pregnant woman named Tatiana walks barefoot into a pharmacy seeking help. The clerk refuses, mistaking her for a junkie. Suddenly, blood begins to flow down her legs. Tatiana collapses and is immediately rushed to the hospital. The doctors perform surgery and manage to save the baby, but unfortunately, Tatiana passes away, leaving behind a diary filled with Russian writings. Anna, a British midwife born in Russia, hopes to find Tatiana's family through the diary. Otherwise, the baby will be sent to an orphanage. Anna returns home after her night shift. She lives with her considerate mother, Helen, and her alcoholic jerk uncle, Stepan. The next day, Anna hands Stepan the diary she took from Tatiana's purse and urges him to translate it as it is in Russian. Uncle Stepan refuses and scolds her for stealing from a dead girl. Nevertheless, her only concern is finding someone to properly care for the child. While browsing through the pages, Anna comes across a business card for the Trans-Siberian restaurant, her only clue. Unbeknownst to her, this restaurant is run by Russian Mafia boss Semyon. On a rainy night, a Turkish autistic boy named Ekrem visits his uncle Azim's barbershop. Ekrem locks the door, closes the curtains, and changes the sign to closed. Ekrem is introduced to a Russian man named Soika, but becomes unusually agitated. Azim hands his nephew a razor blade, urging him to execute their plan. Soika realizes what is happening and tries to leave, but he is stopped. Ekrem slashes Soika's throat, leaving him to die in agony. Meanwhile, we see Semyon's son, Kirill, and Nikolai, the family's loyal driver and bodyguard. At the same time, Anna parks her motorcycle in front of the restaurant. Kirill orders Nikolai to bring Azim and his wife to the restaurant. As Nikolai drives away, Anna knocks on the restaurant door and is warmly welcomed by Semyon. The workers are preparing for a large party. When Semyon notices his granddaughters playing the violin incorrectly, he demonstrates the proper way by playing a piece himself. Anna hands Semyon the business card she found in Tatiana's diary and asks where she can find Tatiana's relatives to help her child. Semyon denies knowing the girl and apologizes for not being able to help her with the case. But when Anna mentions that she might find more information once she translates the diary, Semyon volunteers to decipher it himself and suggests she bring it to him the next evening. Before she leaves, Semyon ensures he knows where she works. Nikolai and the Azim couple park the car at the restaurant. He stays by the car outside, right next to Anna's motorcycle. When Anna appears, he compliments her bike and asks if she wants to sell it. But Anna declines, saying it belongs to her father and holds sentimental value. Nikolai then asks if she wants to grab a drink, but she ignores him and speeds away. Later that evening, during a family dinner, Uncle Stepan, drunk, asks Anna how long she plans to stay with them. His words make both women uncomfortable, and Anna leaves the table while Helen harshly reprimands him. She tells her daughter she can stay as long as she wants, especially since Anna has recently broken up with her boyfriend, which is why she's living with them. Meanwhile, at the restaurant, as everyone enjoys entertainment and drinks, Kirill receives a phone call. Once he ensures the coast is clear, he signals to Azim that everything is ready. Nikolai drives Kirill and Azim to the barbershop, but Azim wants Nikolai to wait outside because he doesn't like him. Kirill refuses because Nikolai works for him and is useful for the job. Inside, they are startled by Ekrem, who is ecstatic about getting tickets to a Chelsea football match. Azim sends him out, assuring them that he won't talk about their presence. They proceed to the freezer where Soika's body is kept. Kirill claims Soika was like a brother to him, although his facial expression suggests otherwise. Kirill hands Azim an envelope full of cash, saying that money is respect. Nikolai places the body on the table and uses a hairdryer to thaw the stiff corpse. He then warns Azim and Kirill to leave as the work will get messy. Nikolai presses a cigarette on his tongue and then cuts off all the fingers and removes the teeth from the body. Nikolai and Kirill then drive to the waterfront, disposing of Soika's wrapped body into the river, submerging it. As Stepan eagerly flips through Tatiana's diary, he warns Anna to be extra careful with it. He has found words like needles and murder in the diary, advising her to stop investigating. Meanwhile, the police discover Soika's body. When the chief inspector examines the corpse, he identifies Soika as belonging to a criminal Russian gang called Vori v Zakoni. Each member of this gang has tattoos, each with significant meaning. By reading his tattoos, the inspector deduces that Soika was a captain who never bowed to anyone. He also finds a note in Soika's jacket. Back at the restaurant, Anna visits Semyon. She hands Semyon a copy of Tatiana's diary, saying when Tatiana's baby girl is old enough, the original diary will be sent to her. Semyon claims he is too drunk and will translate the diary when he's sober tomorrow. He asks where she lives to send her the translated version, but she refuses to reveal her address. As she leaves, Nikolai shows up at the door with a heavily drunk Kirill, who can barely stand. Semyon angrily slams the door on them. When they finally get inside, Kirill collapses on the floor, resting his head on Nikolai's shoes. Disappointed, Semyon walks up to his despicable son and kicks him several times. Nikolai tries to stand up for him, but Semyon puts him in his place. Semyon is the head of the Vori v Zakoni family, which operates legitimate businesses in the shadows, in this case, a popular restaurant. Nikolai notices Anna outside, trying to start her motorcycle. He attempts to fix it, but the bike is broken. He offers to drive her home in his limo because it's pouring rain outside, and Semyon wouldn't forgive him if he let her walk home. In the car, Anna tries to get information about Tatiana, but Nikolai claims ignorance, saying he is just a driver. When Nikolai drops her off, she asks what he wants in return. Nikolai replies to Anna, saying it's a Christmas gift. Nikolai and Kirill head to a brothel to party. While Kirill enjoys the company of many young girls, Nikolai shows no interest. When Nikolai refuses to be with one of the girls, Kirill orders him to comply, reminding him that he is the boss. Kirill also wants to ensure Nikolai isn't interested in men, as rumors suggest. Following orders, Nikolai complies, and Kirill laughs, clapping for him on the back at the door. Before leaving, Nikolai is captivated by a beautiful and melancholic song sung by a Ukrainian woman named Kirilenko. He throws her a wad of cash, telling her to live longer. At the hospital, Anna takes care of the baby, naming her Christine, feeling emotional as she recently lost her own child. Suddenly, Semyon appears, telling her he has translated the diary. He is disturbed to find Kirill's name mentioned multiple times, along with details of some illegal activities he was involved in. He urges Anna not to disclose the diary to the police and assures her that he will take care of Kirill, describing him as a good kid who went astray after losing his mother at a young age. Stepan, a former KGB agent, is fully aware of the criminal extent of the Vori v Zakoni. His main concern is Anna's safety. According to Stepan's translation, they learn that after Kirill's failed attempt to assault Tatiana, he throws her down the stairs and beats her. To their shock, Semyon also assaults Tatiana and is actually the baby's father. Anna recounts her meeting with Semyon. They decide it's best to hand over the diary to Semyon to ensure Tatiana's child remains safe. In the restaurant's backyard, Nikolai is seen working on Anna's motorcycle when Kirill calls him over, as they receive a shipment of old liquor on a truck. Kirill informs him that Semyon has discussed promoting Nikolai into their import-export business, making him a family member. At this moment, Semyon appears and slaps Kirill after discovering he was behind Soika's murder. Seeing that Nikolai handles everything, Semyon realizes Nikolai's intelligence and resourcefulness, relying on him more than his own son. However, he also notes that Soika's brother is dangerous. Meanwhile, Anna, Helen, and Stepan go to a cafe for coffee. Nikolai shows up and sits down at their table. Stepan tells Nikolai that he is a former KGB captain and knows how to deal with people like Semyon. Once things settle down, Nikolai asks for the diary. But when Nikolai gets the diary, he refuses to give them Tatiana's address and just walks away. Outside, Anna catches him and insists on the child's family address. Nikolai threatens her, saying if she doesn't avoid the situation, she will ruin her good life. Enraged, Stepan rushes up to him and spits in Nikolai's face. Nikolai calmly states he will kill him by shoving his fingers down his throat. Nikolai returns to Semyon's restaurant and hands over Tatiana's diary. Semyon is pleased to have it, but is worried because Stepan has already read it and instructs Nikolai to kill him no matter what. It's revealed that Soika was eliminated because he was spreading rumors about Kirill being into men. Semyon then soaks the diary in vodka and burns it. In the following scene, as Anna leaves work, Nikolai approaches her, having fixed her motorcycle, and hands her the address of Tatiana's family. He says it isn't a good place for a little girl to grow up and suggests that Anna take care of Christine herself. The next day, Ekrem returns from the Chelsea versus Arsenal derby match in London. While walking down the street with a group of fans, he stops at a graveyard to urinate on a grave. Two men approach him, one of them being Soyka's brother, and they slit his throat in broad daylight. While Semyon enjoys a classic Russian song, Ochi Chernye, played by an accordionist in the restaurant, he is informed that Azim is coming to see him. Azim tells him that Soyka's brother killed Ekrem. The brother decided to let him go, but in return, he must give up Kirill. The honest reason behind this is that he fears Semyon more than the Chechens. Semyon is not pleased but instructs Azim to inform his brother that he will comply. After a while, Nikolai is seen following Stepan to his home and presumably kills him inside. Later that evening, Anna waits outside the restaurant when Nikolai and Kirill arrive. Kirill orders her to leave and instructs Nikolai not to see her again. She yells at them that Tatiana was only 14 years old, but Kirill ignores her completely. Before leaving, Nikolai warns Anna once again not to get involved in Tatiana's case. As Nikolai and Kirill walk through the kitchen, Kirill mentions that the police raided the brothel and demanded to know Kirillenko's name. They meet with Semyon, who dismisses Kirill and talks privately with Nikolai. Kirill, feeling hurt, storms down the stairs to get drunk. Nikolai tells Semyon that he killed Stepan, which pleases him. Afterwards, Nikolai goes downstairs to have a drink with Kirill. He says that Semyon gave him a chance to get tattoos, which he accepted. Kirill embraces him and falsely claims that getting Nikolai the stars was his idea. Later, several members of the Vori v Zakoni arrive at the restaurant, welcomed by Semyon. Nikolai sits before them in his underwear. The members inspect his prison tattoos and review his criminal history and family background. Nikolai declares he has severed ties with his parents and gets star tattoos on his shoulders and knees. The next day, Azim meets Nikolai at the bathhouse to discuss some matters. He says it's a preferred meeting place since everyone can see each other's tattoos. Azim and Nikolai undress and wrap themselves in towels. Azim makes an excuse to go to the restroom and starts getting dressed again. Two thugs enter, and Azim introduces Nikolai as Kirill because they don't know what Kirill looks like. They let Azim go and walk into the sauna where Nikolai is. A fight ensues. Nikolai gets badly hurt, but eventually gains the upper hand, stabbing the left thug in the eye. Later at the hospital, Anna notices the severely injured Nikolai. She approaches him and asks if he knows where Stepan is. If he doesn't appear soon, she will involve the authorities. Nikolai reveals that Semyon sent him to finish Stepan, but he didn't. Instead, he sent him to Edinburgh and placed him in a hotel. The police inspector who discovered Soyka's body arrives at the hospital and talks to Nikolai privately. It turns out that Nikolai is actually an MI5 undercover agent hired to infiltrate the Vori v Zakoni case. The note he placed on Soyka's clothes was a progress report, and he was the one who orchestrated the brothel raid to aid Kirill. However, both Scotland Yard and the KGB FSB are unhappy with Nikolai's star tattoos, feeling he has gone too far. Nikolai then reminds them that all they need to do is arrest Semyon for assaulting the 14-year-old Tatiana. Additionally, they could prove Semyon is the child's father through a blood test. Meanwhile, Kirill is inflating balloons for another party and joking with his nephew when he sees several police officers outside the restaurant through a security camera. After the police leave, Kirill meets with his father. It is revealed they came to collect a blood sample from Semyon, leaving both of them confused and panicked. As Anna finishes her shift, she notices Kirill in the elevator with a gym bag. She rushes to the nursery, only to find flowers in place of the baby. Anna encounters Nikolai again and demands to know if he knows where Kirill has taken the child. He genuinely doesn't know, so they both rush out to find Kirill, who has returned to the waterfront where Soyka's body was disposed of. He sits by the water, holding the baby, crying and begging the infant for forgiveness. Just as he is about to throw Christine into the river, Nikolai and Anna arrive in time. Nikolai tells Kirill that Semyon has gone too far. They have never killed babies. He then urges Kirill to choose between him and Semyon. Kirill embraces Nikolai, saying he didn't know Semyon had set him up at the bathhouse. Nikolai says he understands and hands her to Anna. Nikolai then tells Kirill it's time for him to take control of the family and that they can partner with Semyon. Kirill brightens up and tells Nikolai they should go out to celebrate, as it's New Year's Eve. Kirill walks away, waiting for Nikolai. Anna demands to know who he is and why he is helping them, but Nikolai simply responds, "If the king is still here, I can't be the king." They share a brief kiss before Nikolai leaves with Kirill. Sometime later, we see Helen and Stepan setting the table for lunch, while Anna has adopted Christine and plays with the beautiful baby. It is implied that Semyon was imprisoned for the assault on Tatiana. The final shot shows Nikolai sitting alone in the restaurant, conflicted about whether he wants to become the Mafia boss. Thanks for watching!